Welcome to the Master Dealmakers Secrets Podcast. And now, here's sales growth strategist, John Blake.
Welcome to Master Dealmakers Secrets. I'm John Blake. This is episode 108, and today we're going to talk about two big blockages that you may encounter in your sales process and what specifically that you can do about them. But before we do that, if you have got leads that you have spoken to but they haven't converted yet, and you want a really reliable and predictable strategy that you can use to convert more of those leads, I want you to head over to johnblakeaudio.com, where you can get the free audio training that I offer, where I show you the exact strategy that you can use to double sales with your existing leads. This is the exact same strategy that I teach my high-ticket clients. It works really consistently, which is what you want. Once you actually install it in your business, you want it to work consistently. So head over to johnblakeaudio.com. Not only will you get the audio training, what you'll also get is the PDF guide that has all of the word-for-word scripts, exactly what to say in your emails, exactly what to say when you leave a follow-up message for somebody, exactly when to ring, and exactly when to email over a 90-day period. So you've got it all set out. Everything's there. I haven't held anything back. This works really, really well. It's actually the first thing that I do when I first start working with a client, to give them a big injection of quick cash into their business. So you can grab that over at johnblakeaudio.com, and I look forward to hearing your success that you will undoubtedly have when you implement it in your business. Okay, so today we're going to talk about two major blockages that you'll get in your sales process and how to avoid them happening in the first place. In my experience, there's a lot of information out there on objection handling, and I think it's important to have some structures and some frameworks around how to talk to people about objections. What's even better is to actually have a process that stops them happening in the first place. So if you're getting objections coming up over and over again, there are reasons that you're getting those objections. And I'm actually putting together a matrix that actually shows you what causes specific objections and what you can actually do about them. In fact, I might even turn it into a training. But in the meantime, I want to give you two of them and what causes them, and what you can do to stop them happening in the first place. So the first one is when somebody says to you, it's too expensive, right? So they say, it's more than what I plan to spend, or it's too expensive. Essentially what that means is that you haven't established sufficient value. Now value exists in a couple of different forms. A lot of people, when we're talking about value, they think about value in terms of features, advantages, and benefits. So explaining to somebody, about why this particular product is different, how it's going to work in that particular person's life. And that has merit, especially if what you are saying is relevant to that particular person's situation. But the part of establishing value first that people often forget about is, or just ignore or aren't aware of, is the cost of inaction. So what is the cost of doing nothing, right? What is the thing that will continue to happen, that is happening right now, that is a bigger drama than the investment in time and the investment in resources in terms of money to invest in your particular product or service? So both of those things lead to value. Because if you're fixing a costly enough problem, that is valuable. And when the value of fixing that costly problem becomes greater than the investment in your particular product or service, the person will actually buy, because the scales will be tipped in the direction of, don't want to put up with this anymore. It's costing me too much. It's annoying me too much. So in our process, we need to create an environment where they understand and discover that for themselves. So that's the first one. If you are experiencing the it's too expensive objection, it typically means that you haven't established value first. And there's a couple of different ways you can do that before you get to a point where they even know what the price is. The second one is either they're not wanting to proceed out of fear, right? Or, some form of fear, risk, nervousness. And so there's a couple of things there. The first one is that you have not established enough trust. So they don't actually, trust or believe that you can actually do the thing that you're saying that you can do. Or and there might be a few reasons for that. The first one might be you haven't shown them enough proof. So that there hasn't been enough evidence that they've seen that you have a track record of actually doing the thing that you're saying that you can do. So if that's the case, then, you just obviously need to demonstrate to them that you have had a lot of experience in fixing their particular situation, and if you can do that, if you can show them that, and case studies, testimonials, all those type of things will fast track that trust process. But the other thing that you may want to consider, and not many people talk about this, is that if you have got a client who is not wanting to proceed out of fear, what you may want to do is examine as to whether they actually have a pattern of fear in their life. So if there are a whole bunch of decisions that they have simply not gone ahead and made, and there's a pattern of that behavior in their life, because if there's a pattern of that type behavior in their life, then you might not want them as a client, right? So if they are, massive procrastinators in making a decision, well, here's the thing. Like, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So if they say, I'm just not sure. I mean, some people can go on for months and months and months and months. It could be something that they totally need. There could be a massive cost of inaction. There could be a massive amount of value in actually doing it, but they just won't actually pull the trigger. So it's very, very important to be mindful of those two things. So to recap, in terms of it's too expensive, it means you haven't established value, or conversely, a big enough cost of doing nothing first. And fear is typically, comes down to, all the subsets of fear, like risk. That is, that they haven't seen enough evidence, or you haven't established enough trust that you can actually fix the thing that you are talking to them about doing. So I hope that helps. And as always, thank you for listening, and I will talk to you on the next podcast. Cheers.
You've been listening to Master Dealmaker's Secrets with John Blake. Subscribe to get more in-depth strategies to maximize your sales process with new episodes every week. And double your inquiry to sale conversion with the lead flow you already have. Go to johnblakeaudio.com for his exclusive free no-fluff audio training and companion PDF guide.